Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
AFP affirms non-partisan stand amid impeachment issues. Local Amnesty Board Batuan processes amnesty applications of former rebels in Agusan del Norte. DOTR says President Marcos approves 5-year registration validity of new cars and motorcycles. House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos pushes for abolition of travel tax.
Good day, everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo in Quezon City. Today is Thursday, February 5, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. In behalf of Rof Suzon Albay, this is Jai Simbaon here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Armed Forces of the Philippines declare it will remain non-partisan and apolitical amid ongoing impeachment issues and political tensions. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla said the military respects the democratic process and rejects calls for troops to withdraw support from the current administration. She reiterated that the Armed Forces has repeatedly urged groups not to drag the military into politics and to bring complaints through proper legal channels. Colonel Padilla also revealed that the AFP is monitoring attempts to discredit the organization ahead of the 40th anniversary of the EDSA People Power Revolution on February 25.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the local Amnesty Board Butuan processed new amnesty applications from former rebels during an intake activity at the 29th Infantry Battalion in Cabanatuan City, Agusan del Norte. A total of 34 former rebels voluntarily filed their applications as the deadline for submissions draws near. The activity was pushed through with support from the 29th IB, Cagawasan 143 Peace Center, Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office of Agusan del Norte, and the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity, Caraga. Officials said the effort strengthens reintegration initiatives and supports the government's peace and reconciliation campaign in the Caraga region.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear some updates from Kath about CA confirms 35 AFP senior officers. Kath?
Yes, good noon. The Commission on Appointments confirmed the ad-interim appointments of 35 senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines during a session in Pasay City yesterday. The confirmed officers include 13 captains from the Philippine Navy, 9 colonels from the Philippine Air Force, 5 colonels from the Philippine Marine Corps, and 4 colonels from the Philippine Army. 4 more senior officers from Technical and Support Services, including the Nurse Corps and the Judge Advocates General Service, also received confirmation. The AFP said the approvals ensure continuity of command and support ongoing joint operations and professional military development. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Armed Forces of the Philippines spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla confirmed that the military has long faced problems involving the recruitment of former soldiers to fight in foreign conflicts, citing the case of Raymond Gumangan. Ukrainian authorities arrested Raymond Gumangan for allegedly fighting alongside Russian forces, although he claimed a recruiter deceived him with promises of legitimate work. Colonel Padilla said the AFP is coordinating with the Department of Foreign Affairs to assist Gumangan and facilitate his return to the country. She added that the military strengthens transition and livelihood programs for retired personnel to prevent them from being recruited as mercenaries or private armed security abroad.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict Executive Director Ernesto Torres Jr. warned Filipino Americans about possible recruitment efforts by communist groups linked to the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, and the National Democratic Front. He said these groups conduct deliberate overseas campaigns for radicalization, recruitment, and organizing individuals who may later be brought to the Philippines. He added that foreign supporters pose significant threat by providing resources and lobbying foreign funding agencies for front organizations. The task force urged Filipino-American communities to remain vigilant and verify organizations before engaging or providing support.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
From Northern Luzon Command, let us hear some information from Joanne about 86th Infantry Battalion. Local Amnesty Board issues safe conduct passes to former rebels in Nueva Vizcaya. Joanne?
The National Amnesty Commission Local Amnesty Board, together with 86th Infantry Highlander Battalion, Local Government Unit of Ambaguio, Ambaguio Municipal Police Station, Public Attorney's Office, and Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office, handed over safe conduct passes to 20 former rebels and militiang bayan in Ambaguio, Nueva Vizcaya on February 3, 2026. The safe conduct passes allows the recipients to legally and safely complete amnesty processes, return to their families, and reintegrate into society. The 86IB emphasized these individuals were victims of deception and exploitation by leftist groups using social and economic issues to fuel anger and violence. The unit warns against leftist groups exploiting issues to recruit and strengthen their armed movement, and will continue information and education campaigns to clarify issues and prevent further deception. This is John Sagalk reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And police arrested 204 fugitives and secured the surrender of 19 New People's Army supporters during coordinated operations across Zamboanga Peninsula in January. Police Regional Office 9 Director Brigadier General Edwin Quilates said those arrested include 57 most wanted persons and 147 other wanted persons captured in Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga Sinti, and Sulu. He credited joint operations of local police units, national support agencies, and citizen-provided intelligence for the results. Quilates added the surrenderers choose to withdraw support for NPA remnants and will undergo government rehabilitation and reintegration programs.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our national news,
DWDD National News.
the Department of Social Welfare and Development said the increased budget allocation for the supplementary feeding program enables the agency to support wider geographic coverage, reach more children nationwide, and expand the feeding period this year. From 5 billion pesos in 2025, the budgeted allocation for the SFP was raised to 9.26 billion pesos for 2026. The feeding period was also extended from 120 days to 180 days. The SWD spokesperson Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao said the expansion of the SFP reflects the department's strengthened commitment to improving the nutritional status of children aged 2 to 5 years old enrolled in child development centers and supervised neighborhood playgroups.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more from Mel Joy of 1st CRG about 7th ID holds first Ready Reserve Unit Commanders and Staff Summit 2026. Mel Joy?
Yes, Rolf, the 7th Infantry Kaugnay Division Philippine Army convened its first Ready Reserve Unit Commanders and Staff Summit 2026, a landmark gathering designed to enhance the capabilities, coordination, and operational readiness of the Philippine Army Reserve Force held at Headquarters, 1st Regional Community Defense Group, Camp Lieutenant Tito Abat, Manawag, Pangasinan. The summit brought together commanders and staffs of Ready Reserve units under the 1st and 3rd Regional Community Defense Groups, Reserve Command Philippine Army. It focused on strengthening leadership synergy, enhancing command and staff coordination, and aligning reserve units with the Philippine Army's strategic priorities. Discussions centered on improving integration with regular forces, addressing challenges faced by reserve officers, and establishing clear guidance on training, force development, and operational planning. Strategic sessions and workshops were led by subject matter expert from Headquarters Philippine Army and Northern Luzon Command. Through strengthened leadership, improved coordination, and enhanced integration with regular units, the Philippine Army continues to build a resilient, capable reserve force, ensuring that every reservist is ready to serve the nation whenever called upon. This is Meljo Inesio Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy.
DWDD National News.
And the Japanese and Philippine government signed 8.175 billion pesos second supplemental loan for the rehabilitation and maintenance of MRT Line 3. The funding seeks to restore MRT 3 to its original as-designed condition, enabling future capacity expansion and ensuring sustained performance. The project covers the replacement of mainline rails and assemblies and reintegration with other MRT 3 projects. It also includes the restoration, renewal, or upgrade of key subsystems such as tracks, signaling, power supply, overhead catenaries, communications, and maintenance and station equipments.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippine National Police is confident that the suspects in the separate killings of a policewoman and her son and of a police sergeant will be convicted in court. PNP Chief General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said that all possible angles in both cases were pursued and that the pieces of evidence were meticulously reviewed to build a strong case. He added that with the pieces of evidence they have to support the case, they are confident that there's a certainty of conviction of the court against those involved. Nartates said a case involving PSMS Dayan Marie Molinero and her 8-year-old son, Jan Ismael, have been solved following the arrest of 4 suspects, adding the PNP's focus has now shifted to locating the remaining suspects in the killing of Police Staff Sergeant Renato Casaway Jr., including alleged gunman Julian Salamat.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio Report.
From Southern Luzon Command, updates from Jess about 203rd Infantry Brigade hosts a work immersion program for Pag-asa National High School. Jess?
Yes, good afternoon. The work immersion program of Pag-asa National High School officially opened on February 2, 2026 at the headquarters of the 203rd Infantry Bantay Kapayapaan Brigade. The activity was conducted in partnership with the 1st Exemplars Company of the 2nd Civil Military Operations Battalion and the 74th Infantry Battalion. The 10-day work immersion aims to provide students with hands-on experience in a government office, helping them develop discipline, responsibility, and proper conduct in public service. Participants will engage in various activities designed to enhance their skills, work ethics, and understanding of government operations. Brigadier General Melencio W. Ragudo, Philippine Army, Commander of the 203rd Infantry Brigade, highlighted the importance of the program in preparing the youth for real-world work and service by instilling discipline, respect, and love for the country. Values essentials in shaping responsible citizens. This marks the 4th time Pag-asa National High School has partnered with the 203rd Infantry Brigade for its work immersion program, following the positive outcomes of previous batches. The brigade continues to support initiatives that empower the youth and prepare them to become responsible and service-oriented leaders of the nation. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess.
DWDD National News.
And a group of House of Representatives leaders rallied behind the proposal of House Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Sandro Marcos to impose a strict no work, no pay policy for members of Congress. The Young Guns said the measure is a long overdue reform aimed at protecting taxpayers, strengthening accountability, and restoring public trust in the legislative institution. Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega of La Union said the bill addresses a basic issue of fairness, stressing that public funds must only be released when public service is actually rendered. Ortega added that the bill simply ensures that public money is spent only when public work is done.
DWDD National
And
News.
House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos is pushing for the immediate abolition of the travel tax. House Bill number 7443 seeks to scrap the travel tax and directly responds to the everyday burden faced by Filipino travelers. Marcos said that it has become an added cost that restricts mobility and weighs heavily on ordinary Filipinos who simply want to travel for work, family, or opportunity. Under the bill, the travel tax imposed under Presidential Decree number 1183 and related provisions of the Tourism Act of 2009 would be repealed to put an end to the collection of fixed charges that currently reached 2,700 for first-class passengers and 1,620 for economy class travelers.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Jimboy about Philippine Army Internal Auditor Office trains personnel in internal control advocacy drive. Jimboy?
The Office of the Internal Auditor of the Philippine Army trained military personnel and key audit staff during the Internal Control System Advocacy Drive at the headquarters Philippine Army in Port Bonifacio, Taguig City. The program strengthened the capability of personnel assigned to management audit position through focused discussion on internal controls and accountability measures. Organizers say the activities support the Human Capital Development Trust of Philippine Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete. The initiative also reinforced the competency-based human resource management strategy to improve governance and operational effectiveness. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
And President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has approved the proposal to extend the validity of registration of newly bought cars. Department of Transportation Secretary Giovanna Lopez said that from the existing 3-year validity, vehicle registration will be extended to 5 years as part of the measures to facilitate and ease motorist transactions with the government. It was Lopez who submitted a proposal to the President following requests from motorists and vehicle owners. He added the newly approved policy will also cover new motorcycles.
DWDD National News.
And Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Erwin Tulfo said the upper chamber is open to dialogue with the Chinese embassy in Manila amid the ongoing word war between China's diplomats and Filipino lawmakers and government officials. Tulfo met Foreign Affairs Secretary Teresa Lazaro at the Department of Foreign Affairs, where they had frank and candid discussions on relevant issues facing the agency, including Manila's bilateral relations with Beijing and the South China Sea disputes. The senator said he was informed by Lazaro that the Chinese ambassador has expressed willingness to discuss the matter with the Senate, a move welcomed by the senator. Tulfo added he is appealing to fellow senators to avoid personal attacks against China and to focus on issues related to the country's sovereignty and claims in the West Philippine Sea so as not to exacerbate tensions with Beijing.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
Now, some information from AMI about civilians turn over firearms to support gun-free drive in Siasi, Sulu. AMI?
Civilians of Laminusa Island in Siasi, Sulu voluntarily surrendered several firearms to the Philippine Army to support efforts to declare the island gun-free and peace-centered. Troops of the 104th Infantry Battalion facilitated the turnover. Soldiers receive 1 M1 Garand rifle, 2 M1 carbine rifles, a magazine, and 13 rounds of 30 caliber ammunition for proper documentation and disposition. Major General Leonardo Peña, commander of the 11th Infantry Division and Joint Task Force Orion, praised the community's cooperation and said the voluntary surrender strengthens trust and long-term security initiatives in Sulu. This is Amir reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, AMI.
DWDD National News.
And a total of 1,167 illegal drugs personalities were arrested in the month-long anti-illegal drugs operation in January this year. National Capital Region Police Office Director Major General Anthony Aberin said the same operations also resulted in a confiscation of around 113 million pesos worth of illegal drugs, including shabu, marijuana, cocaine, and ecstasy. Aberin emphasized that these successful operations reflect sustained pressure against illegal drugs distribution networks operating within the region. Earlier, National Police Chief General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. ordered all police commanders to intensify the campaign against loose firearms, saying they are main instruments in the commission of crimes.
DWDD National News.
And the Commission on Higher Education is set to launch a comprehensive functional review on the agency's operation in partnership with the World Bank to ensure quality assurance. CHED Chairperson Shirley Agrupi said it is important to align staff competencies with their respective roles to uphold efficient and effective public service. Under comprehensive review, the CHED and the World Bank will analyze current staffing qualifications and map critical workflows to improve quality assurance. It will also address the potential overlapping functions between the CHED and other agencies.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Beth about 78th Infantry Battalion conducts humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations in Northern Negros. Beth?
The 79th Infantry Battalion conducted humanitarian assistance and disaster response operation in Northern Negros after heavy rainfall, struggled flooding, and a road obstruction in several areas. Troops carried out rescue mission, assisted stranded residents, and launched an immediate feeding program for affected families. Soldiers also cleared block roads to restore accessibility and ensure public safety. The 79th IB said it continues to coordinate with a local government unit and partner agencies to support communities during emergencies. This is Bethania reporting for the AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth. From our report on the ground, let us hear the report of Ferdy about Special Forces Regiment Airborne graduates Class 149-2024. Ferdy?
Good day, everyone. The Special Forces Regiment Airborne of the Special Forces Command Philippine Army graduated Special Forces Operations Course Class 149-24 during rites at the Special Forces School in Fort Magsaysay. Brigadier General Gilbert Roy S. Ruiz served as guest of honor speaker and urged graduates to uphold discipline, quiet mastery, and mission-focused service. The regiment awarded him honorary Special Forces membership for his intelligence oversight and coordination that supported precision operations. Officials said the new operators strengthened the unit's mission-ready force for national security tasks. This is Verdi Blues reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ferdy.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, the Philippines is strengthening its participation in the Gulf Cooperation Council's halal market. This is in partnership with a certification body that has been duly recognized in the region to handle the authentication process. Trade Commissioner Michael Angelo Roaring said the country is now entering stronger with the support and help from organizations like Prime Group and a whole of Philippine government towards the promotion of halal products. Prime Group, which is run by a Filipino, has been providing the certification process in UAE and Saudi Arabia. The company is accredited by the GCC Standardization Organization, which unifies safety standards for goods entering the markets.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our DWDD AFP Radio Facebook page. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Joyce Inbound for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.